the practice. Respondents shall be prohibited from working in the following practice areas: private duty, temporary staffing, home visits, temporary assignments, any unsupervised setting, hospice, long-term chronic care facilities, except under special circumstances and conditions. The respondent must have the board notified of any and all information regarding respondent's failure to attend counseling sections or aftercare meetings if recommended by the assessor, and if the assessor recommends AA. Drug screens will be required. Any notice of failure to furnish drug specimen, copies of prescriptions are required, quarterly reports, notification of any non-compliance. As I indicated earlier, a written copy of this order will be submitted to the licensee. We thank you for your presence here today. At this time, Ms. Conyers, you are excused.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggins, and thank you to the board. I appreciate this opportunity and I look forward to it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ms. Conyers.
Thank you.
Okay. We need to go see about Miss
Hi. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so you can continue to mute. We should start up in about 10 minutes. I'm not sure if they're going to start with you next. Thank you.
She is going to play. Are we on mute?
Thank you for joining. Hello, thank you for joining. Will you introduce yourself? Moto E5 Cruise. Unmute them. Yeah. Hello, caller from Moto E5 Cruise. Can you identify yourself?
My name is Keisha Lachey Dixon.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dixon.
Back on the record. Okay, now before the board, matter of license number P 318-805. My name is Edward Wiggins. I'll serve as the hearing officer in this matter. This time I'll ask the board members to introduce themselves.
Nancy Norris Johnson,
Sandra Culpepper, LPN.
Laura Moore, APRN.
Is the licensee present? Ms. Dixon, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, please state your name.
Keisha Lachey Dixon.
You acknowledge if you have received notice of this matter today?
Yes, sir.
Are you represented by counsel, Ms. Dixon?
No, sir.
Represented by counsel?
No, sir.
Don't understand that because you do have the right to be represented by counsel.
Yes, I do understand that.
Do you also understand you have the right to present witnesses and evidence in your behalf?
Yes, sir, I do.
Further understand that you have the right to cross-examine any witnesses who may testify against you.
Yes, sir.
Finally, understand that you have the right to have subpoenas issued by the board on your behalf.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. These proceedings will proceed as follows. We'll have opening statements. Case against licensee will proceed. Licensee will be allowed to cross-examine witnesses testifying against her to present testimony. Questioning of witnesses will start with direct examination, then cross-examination, followed by redirect examination, if any. Of course, the board members will have an opportunity, as well as myself, to question any witnesses as well. At the conclusion of the presentation of both sides, closing statements will be allowed. The board will make findings of fact and conclusions of law and will render its decision in the matter, a copy of which will be sent to the licensee. At this time, I ask that any witnesses be sworn in.
Yes, to my knowledge, it is just Miss Keisha Dixon and Miss Vera Rucker who will be testifying today.
All right.
Would you raise your right hands, please, to be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. For the record, I'd like to announce that there is a quorum present. These hearings are open to the public. The board, however, may deliberate and make its decision in executive session. Are there any preliminary matters, counsel?
Yes. The state has offered for exhibits to be entered into evidence B1 through B21, and those exhibits have been distributed to Miss Dixon.
Any objection, Ms. Dixon?
Yes, sir.
Which ones do you object to?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. What was it? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Do you have any objection to the admission of the exhibit list?
Oh, no, sir, I don't. I'm sorry.
Anything further, counsel?
No, the only thing further is just that this is a petition that Miss Dixon has asked to move forward on, so that it involves an order she is currently under. So it's a petition for authority to proceed with her April 12th, 2019 final order as to reinstatement.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll start with opening statements. Counsel, you can proceed.
On April 12th, 2019, a final order was signed by the Mississippi Board of Nursing Executive Director Phyllis Johnson. And in that order, it reinstated Ms. Dixon's license with certain conditions and stipulations. Ms. Dixon was to complete certain preconditions within 180 calendar days prior to Ms. Dixon given the opportunity to have a probationary license. The state's position today is that Ms. Dixon, who was reinstated in that February 2019 hearing, had not worked as a nurse since 2007, which is a point the state would like the board to consider and to keep in mind throughout the proceeding. But the state's position today is that Ms. Dixon did not meet the conditions within the time frame required, and that there are some concerns as to her fitness and competency to practice. Thus, Ms. Dixon's petition that the board hear this evidence to decide whether or not she be allowed to proceed with her April 12th, 2019 order and receive the probationary license.
Thank you, counsel. Ms. Dixon, would you like to make an opening statement at this time?
Yes, sir. I did not meet those stipulations within the 180 days. I tried, but financially, I just wasn't able to do it within that time. But I did manage to get it done. And as far as the probationary period, I'm asking that the board reinstate my license fully without a probationary period. I mean, I complied. I've done everything the board asked me to do. Every single thing. I didn't leave out not one thing. I'm just asking for my license to be fully reinstated.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dixon. Counsel, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. And because it dismissed Dixon's petition, the board would request that Ms. Dixon have that burden and provide her case in chief, and that counsel for the state be allowed to cross-examine and provide further evidence in the matter.
Ms. Dixon, any objection?
No, sir.
All right, that motion will be sustained. At this time, Ms. Dixon, the floor is yours to proceed with your case.
I guess I will start off first by saying I done the drug screening. I done the AA meetings. I went and I had the I was examined by Mrs. Lippincott for psych and for I think it was called the and she checked me for drugs. Let me just say that. After that, I seen Ms. Lippincott. I had spoke to my compliance officer, and she had said that Ms. Lippincott said that I needed to see a doctor or something under this order physically to make sure I was physically fit to go back to work. And after I seen her, I went and had that physical done. I had the physical done. The doctor cleared me. So I'm just wondering, what else does the board, what else would the board like for me to do? Because I mean, I don't know nothing else to do. I don't know anything else to do at this time. Nothing at all. But I'm willing to comply and do whatever it is that the board are asking me to do, as long as it's fair. I'm just asking for you guys to be fair. That's all. If it's something else you want me to do, if I can do it, I do not mind. I want my nursing license back. So is there anything else that the board would like for me to do?
Ms. Dixon, does that conclude your statement?
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have additional evidence you'd like to, any additional comments you'd like to share with the board?
No, they got the physical from the doctor. They have the board have everything that they asked for. No, I'm just asking for my license to be fully reinstated. That's it. No evidence, no other evidence to present to you guys.
Counsel, do you have direct from Ms. Dixon?
I have some, yes, cross-examination questions.
Dixon, the board has some questions she's going to ask you.
Okay.
Ms. Dixon, what is your current mailing address for the record?
151 New Hope Dixon Circle, Frankville, Alabama, 36538.
So you do not reside in Mississippi, correct?
No, I do not.
Okay, let's go to B6, Exhibit B6, that was entered into evidence,
Okay.
okay? Would you
Okay.
agree with me? Would you agree with me that this order was signed April 12th, 2019?
Yes, I do.
And that order was based on your hearing before a board panel on February 7, 2019, correct?
That's correct.
And on page 2, the board has in its order that you did surrender your license back in April of 2007 due to you had a conviction for a misdemeanor offense for possession of controlled substance without prescription. Would you agree that that's what happened?
Yes, I got a citation for having marijuana. Yes.
So the last time you practiced as a nurse was in 2007. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you came before the board in 2019 and the board decided at that time, after it's been 11 years since you practiced as a nurse, to reinstate your license with certain conditions, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get to those preconditions. Look at page 3, if you will, of Exhibit B6 in your order.
Okay.
Okay, and under the order section, it does state, does it not, that your license and privilege would be reinstated in a probationary status after you've met the following stipulations within 180 calendar days from the date the executive director executed the order. Do you agree with me? That's what it states.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's look at these preconditions. Number 1, you had a conference with the compliance officer, did you not, to discuss all the conditions within this order?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and in fact, that conference is referenced in Exhibit B8. Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
In Exhibit B8, you actually initialed that you read through and understood each and every paragraph of that order. Is that right?
That's correct.
You did that on May 21, 2019, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further acknowledged that should you receive that probationary license, that probationary license, according to the order, would allow you to practice for 60 months with drug stipulations. Would you agree with that's what it says?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And along the same line, during that May 21st conference, you were also supplied, and this is in Exhibit B8, a form where you were to list home group, current medications, your current probation officer, and when an assessment was scheduled. Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not fill out the section of primary physician. You did not fill out the sponsor name at that time. You did not fill out the home group at that time. And you did not fill out the current medications at that time. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then finally, you executed a release of information during that conference on May 21, 2019, that's contained in Exhibit B8. Did you not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So let's go back to your order in Exhibit B6. And you have testified that you did preconditions paragraphs 1 and 2 and 3 of that order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's look at number 4, your primary physician, nurse practitioner. Do you agree with me that that paragraph asks you to provide and identify a primary physician and or nurse practitioner who holds an unrestricted license? Would you agree with me?
Yes, I did that.
Okay, and who did you submit?
First it was the nurse practitioner because the physician wasn't there. I didn't even know she was a nurse practitioner until afterwards. But when the physician came back, you guys didn't accept that. So I went back to the doctor's office with what you guys said, and they made some adjustments. That didn't work out. You guys wasn't satisfied. So I went back over there to see the licensed physician, Dr. Woods, and he sent you guys the information that you guys requested.
Right, with all due respect, Ms. Dixon, I think you're talking about precondition in paragraph number 7. I'm talking
Yes,
about number 4.
okay.
Ask you to name your primary healthcare physician.
Oh, I
And
didn't do it that day I came to the board, but I did do it and I emailed it. I got her that form to her. I put the physician on there. I put the home group on there. I put everything on there that you guys asked to put on there. Did you guys not receive it?
Well, what I'm asking is, did you not include a doctor from California and then another doctor from Canada?
No, I never received doctor from Canada. I've never been to Canada, but I did have a physician when I lived in California. I went back out there to that physician. I was going to use him, but my compliance officer said that it had to be a doctor within the state of Mississippi. I also was going to use a doctor from Louisiana because that's where my insurance was. But you got, so I wouldn't have to pay out of pocket because I didn't have the money. So I worked all that out and I went to the doctor in Mississippi.
Well, and so again, if in Exhibit B10, the compliance officer is asking you to supply that information because as of October 18th, 2019, you had not supplied the primary care physician. And this email states and was asking, was that doctor from California or Canada? Because I believe you were receiving medications from Canada.
Never have I received medications from Canada, never been to Canada, no such a place. No, 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 no. I don't know what's going on here, but no, I've never been to Canada and I don't remember receiving any. She sent me an email telling me to fill out that form. So I filled out the form, I sent it to her. I think instead of using the doctor in California, I used the doctor in Mississippi that you guys wanted me to use that was within the state of Mississippi. Now, as far as Canada, ma'am, I don't know anything about that.
Well, I think Ms. Blackwell was questioning that based on some conversations apparently she had had with you that was documented. And so that's why I asked you today before the panel, did you originally try to submit a name that was from another state or another country than Mississippi or the United States?
Never from another country. I did give her my primary care physician that I had when I was in California. I was going to have him to do that physical, but she said that he was not acceptable. And neither was the one in Louisiana. He had to be in Mississippi.
And
I have never told her anything about I had a doctor in Canada. I never even put a doctor from Canada on a piece of paper.
And how long have you lived in Alabama?
I've been in Alabama back and forth from Alabama, California for the last, I'll say 7 years. I've been back and forth. That's where my husband is from, and he had surgeries there. He's disabled. Alabama won't cover him here what he needs, so I've been back and forth there from California to Alabama.
Okay, because I was curious, why you had not submitted someone from at least Alabama, because that's where your address of record is listed.
Well, she said it had to be a doctor from Mississippi. That's the only
Right.
reason.
Right, and I'm not questioning that, but I'm just curious, again, as the board needs to know why you submitted even as someone from California, as we get to the bottom of just trying to fulfill the requirements of the order.
I was in California at that time, and I did not have to pay for it. I did not have to pay because I had California Medi-Cal, so I didn't have to pay. Didn't have the money at the time, so I was hoping that you guys could have used my primary care physician there. But like I said, you guys couldn't, so.
And were you aware we don't have jurisdiction to request that information from California?
No, I did not. I thought I could just sign a release form and they could give you guys whatever it is that you guys asked for.
Sure, right. But again, with your preconditions, and if you were to remain in the state of Mississippi in terms of your practice, we were not able to get that information until I think June of 2020?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part. What, I mean,
Yeah,
what,
I don't
what is
think we
that?
were able to get that information from a Mississippi named physician until like June of 2020.
You said y'all couldn't get the information until from,
You didn't supply the information about a primary physician until when? June of 2020?
yes,
you said-
ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Let's go back to your order. In paragraphs 5 and 6, would you agree with me that the board, as a precondition, asked you to submit to a evaluation for chemical dependency and an evaluation for psychological evaluation?
Yes, ma'am, I
Okay,
did that.
and in B, let's see. B16 was the addendum to the 8/12/2019 evaluation. Would you agree with me on that? B16.
Okay.
Okay. Have you read the addendum that Ms. Lippincott supplied the board?
I can't, yes, yes, I have,
Okay.
yes.
So you would agree with me then that on that date in question of 3/2/2020, that Ms. Lippincott wrote as an addendum to the original report of 8/12/2019 that you presented with anxious, restless, restricted mood, affect, and behavior.
I read that on there. Yes, I did.
Okay. And she also stated that you were difficult at times to follow in conversation, defensive and questioning.
Yes, yeah, I read that.
Okay. And then finally, it states that in addition to her mental status, there were concerns about her past physical history with multiple stroke episodes and incomplete history of any follow-up care.
Right.
Okay. And then in this addendum, she states that she strongly advises established follow-ups with physical and mental health providers.
Well, that's why I had the physical after her appointment. I had the physical from the doctor. I mean, it really wasn't clear what was she asking me to do. Was she saying I need to go see it? I need to have some more psych evaluations? Is that what this is about? And more physical, when you say established, I mean,
Right.
I'm supposed to
And
have more than one physical?
well, I think that there was physical mental health providers in terms of getting further treatment. Did you do that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you do that? Did you follow up with physical and mental health providers?
No, I was not clear that it was not clear to me that I need to go and be treated for anything. No, 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 no. That was not
Okay,
clear to me.
okay. And did you also read in her addendum that she recommended continued close supervision before any licensure reinstatement?
That I did not read. I did not read that part.
You did not?
I don't remember reading that part when she said, because I would have asked. And I did call to try to talk to her, but I couldn't. So, but wow. Okay, okay. Maybe I didn't hear that part or something. But
Do
okay,
you see
okay.
B16? Do you have B16 in front of you?
No, I do not. I only have, no, I do not. I do not have B16.
Okay.
No, I came in and my compliance officer, I think we went over that paper, or she either emailed it to me, but I read it, or she mailed it to me or something. But I did read it, but I don't remember continued treatment. Continued treatment. What do you mean? Continued treatment for what? I don't understand that.
Okay, let me go back to the order. In paragraph 7, the board ordered you to get a comprehensive medical examination by a board-approved physician and
Uh-huh.
follow any treatment recommended by the physician. Would you agree with me? That's what paragraph 7 was asking you to do.
Yes, to go have that physical done. Yes, yes,
So it says a comprehensive medical examination. Would you
yes,
agree with what it says?
yes.
Okay, and would you agree with me that initially you provided, and it's in B17, Initially, you provided an examination on April 29th, 2020 from an advanced practice nurse.
Yeah. Wait. What are you, the physical that, yeah, okay, I had with the nurse practitioner. Yes, okay.
And would you agree with me that paragraph 7 asks that you submit to a board-approved physician a comprehensive medical exam?
Right. I went back and had that done by a physician.
Right, but you initially, as B17 states, that had it from a advanced practice nurse, right?
They are in the same office. That was a mistake that was made. She was standing in the gap for him because he was out. It's not like I went to a nurse practitioner's office and asked to have that exam done. No, I did not. I went to
And that was the
doctor.
first,
I'm sorry,
and that
go
was
ahead.
the first time you had seen, and I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt. Complete your statement.
No, I'm good.
Because my next question was gonna be, that if you were to comply with these conditions in 180 days, you actually supplied not only this statement that you were seen for the first time by this NP on April 29th in
Mhm.
2020, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you would agree that was the first time you had presented to that clinic, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it is your testimony that that is a comprehensive medical exam.
Yes, it was comprehensive medical exam. It just was not done by a licensed physician.
Okay, let's go to B18. B18 is what you had submitted to the board on June 26, 2020. Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you submitted to the board for review, for staff to review, is entitled Preliminary Transcribed Note. Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I had the doctor to email you guys
Right. And so
their conclusions,
number
so I
7,
didn't get to read
number
it.
7, okay, paragraph number 7 says a comprehensive medical exam. And what you supplied the board was someone that did a preliminary transcribed note.
No, I wouldn't say, I didn't know she just done a preliminary transcribed note. I went there, told them what the board required of me, and she said it was the examination that I needed, the comprehensive medical exam. Well, when the board said it
Okay.
wasn't acceptable, I went back over there and I told her they won't accept this from a nurse practitioner. And she said that she wanted to resend it. But anyway, I guess she did. Then I wound up having to go back over there because the board wouldn't accept that either. I had to go back over there to the licensed doctor.
Right. And do you have B18 where you can read it? Because I sent it,
No,
I sent all
no,
the
I did not.
exhibits. Okay, well, then you do need to go back and look at the second page of B18, because what you submitted literally has it across the top. This is a preliminary transcribed note.
So you trying to say the physical from Dr. Arthur Woods says preliminary, or did you get the physical from Dr. Woods?
Again, Ms. Dixon, I submitted all the exhibits to you. You did not object to them being admitted. I'm looking at exhibit B18, which I did email to you, and I'm reading for the record, and I'm looking at it right now, and it literally reads, this is a preliminary transcribed note.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I did not know that you had got, that's what they sent you. No, I did not.
Yes.
I did not know that's what they sent you. I wouldn't have sent that in there.
Okay, and he also states in this note, this was the first time that he's ever seen you.
This is
Correct.
the second time, yeah. It's been a long time.
Well, the second page of this preliminary note under plan, if you had the
Mhm.
exhibit, Ms. Dixon, you would follow that it literally states, this is the first time I have seen her.
Okay, if it says that, but I don't have a copy of that. No, I do not. But if it says that he said that, then that's what he said.
Well, did you check your email and make sure you got the exhibits? Because you didn't object that you had.
I seen them in there, but I could not print them. I couldn't print them out. I don't have a printer or anything, but I did see them. But I did not see where it says preliminary, or I thought you had what you needed. I would have never sent that in there if that's not what you guys, if that's not what you guys needed. I wish
Right,
I would have been informed, then I could have went and done something different, but I sent them, when Dr. Wood sent it in, you guys accepted it.
And then it also states under his plan, I may not know all of the history.
Okay,
And that the only history that was obtained was from the patient.
right, so what am I supposed to do about that? I mean, it's not like only time I've been sick is when I had that stroke, those 2 strokes in Nashville within a week apart.
Right. And again, the board in number 7, I go back to number 7 and we'll move on. It does state that the board asks you to get a comprehensive medical examination by a board-approved physician.
Right, right, right.
Okay. All right.
So you
Number
saying
8,
that you guys didn't approve Dr. Woods? You trying to say I was not supposed to use Dr. Woods? Is that what the board is saying? I wasn't supposed to use Dr. Woods?
I'll just have to object as that was not the question. She's answered the question and I'm moving on to the next question. Okay. So Ms. Dixon, in paragraph number 8 on the preconditions, you did submit the support group sponsor and home group, but you did so beyond 180 calendar days. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then number 9, you did complete the refresher course that the board ordered you to do so. And actually that is going to be found in exhibit B14, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now I want you to look at page 5 of 11 of this final order. This is probably the most important paragraph.
Okay.
Would you agree with me that in this order, it states that if the applicant does not meet the preconditions as set forth in paragraphs 1 through 10, then the voluntary surrender and revocation of her license shall remain in effect.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so we are here today over that very paragraph. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand that.
Okay, because the state's position is going to be that perhaps you have not met all the preconditions in the time frame, and that there may be a concern with the actual information received when you submitted those preconditions late.
When you say concerns, what do
Yes.
you mean?
Well, again, you said you did not read the addendum to your assessment, Ms. Lippincott.
Okay,
And so that would be a concern.
okay, okay. Well, it's not like that she mailed it to me or anything, or I went back in there to speak with her or anything, but I did read that. I did read, for sure, I read what she had to say. I read what she had to say. It just wasn't clear to me what she was asking of me, because a treatment, I don't treat. So when I go to see another doctor, what I'm supposed to say? Treatment for, she said I was agitated. I drove 4 hours, and I'm not making up excuses for that, but it just wasn't clear to me what she was really asking me to do. I go to another doctor and tell him what I need, because I don't understand when she say treatment. I've never been on any psych drugs or any type of drugs for that matter. So I didn't understand what she meant when she said treatment. And she did drug screen me and everything up in there. No drugs was found in my system or anything like that. So it just wasn't clear to me what she was asking me to do. Not that I didn't want to do it, because I will do it. I don't have a problem with that. But I just don't see why I would have to do that. I got this citation in 2005, and I complied. Only thing I didn't comply with is what you saying about that physical from Dr. Woods. Um, so I don't, whatever the board is requesting of me, if it's within reason, then I don't mind complying. I can see where the board will have questions because the physical wasn't done correctly, and Ms. Lippincott saying further treatment. I maybe I need to contact her about that, because I don't understand what she's asking me to do. She just want me to have another psychiatric evaluation. Um, I need to have another physical about the strokes, or because I had a physical after I spoke with her. But like you said, that was a preliminary, it said preliminary note at the top, but they did do a comprehensive medical exam. I don't know what the paper says at the top. I don't know if you guys have a form that you want me to take to the doctor for them to fill out or to fill, I don't know. But I'm sure we'll figure it out by the end of this meeting.
I'm going to direct your attention to Exhibit B12.
Okay,
Certified letter from the Mississippi Board of Nursing dated November 21, 2019, correct?
yes, ma'am.
All right. In this certified letter to you, it states that you should have met all requirements of the preconditions outlined in your order by October 9, 2019, so that you would be eligible for a probationary license, correct?
Yes,
And it even outlines for you what you were missing. You were needing the comprehensive medical exam. We were needing the support group sponsor and home group that you had not provided, and that you had needed to complete your refresher course, correct?
yeah, I provided that information and I had it on that, I have it in my email. I emailed it to her. But like you said, it was not the position that you guys approved of, so that had to it had to change. So
In addition, this November 21, 2019 order asked that you come to the board's office so that the compliance officer could explain to you all the information contained in that evaluation. Doesn't it contain that?
I came in there, I met with my compliance officer, yes, ma'am.
And it also states that you had written an extension or asked for an extension, that you would submit everything by December 15, 2019, correct?
Correct.
But you just didn't do that, did you?
No, 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 I could not. I could not at that time. Listen, I don't even have a car financially, and I'm not working. My husband is disabled. We on a fixed income. So I have to do things when I can't do them. I mean, I even had people donating money for me to get that physical that I had from Dr. Lippincott and from Dr. Woods. I mean, I know you guys don't care about excuses, but it's just real life stuff here. That's what happened with that.
And then Exhibit B15, you were actually given the opportunity to sign an affidavit and formal reprimand specifying that you had not submitted the preconditions in the time frame outlined in your order, but you failed or refused to sign it. Isn't that correct?
No, 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 that's not correct. So you saying somebody emailed me something or somebody sent me a letter with that in there? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, actually, Exhibit B15, and again, these exhibits were sent to you. A certified mail letter was sent to you with a return receipt signed by you on, looks like March 7, 2020, where you acknowledged having received this affidavit and reprimand for not complying with the conditions outlined in your order.
That must have been a miscommunication or something on my part. I don't know, but there's no way I wouldn't comply with the board. There's no way I would just say no. When you guys asked for me to surrender my license, I did that. When you guys told me to go have these drug screens every month, I did that. And actually, I done that for 2 years. The first year I done it when Ms. Moore was there working. I mean, they never called me in for that whole year for a drug screen, but I called in every single day. Then when I got with you guys, I had to do that all over again. All over again. There is no way. I mean, I done the AA meetings, I done everything. There's no way I would have just clearly just not done what the board asked me to do, saying no, 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 no. If I didn't sign that form or something, I must didn't read it right or something. I don't know. But there's no way I would have said no. You know, and I know that it have been past that time.
Well, would you agree with me? Exhibit B15 does not have your signature on it as accepting the affidavit?
I did not know I was supposed to sign anything and send it back to the board. I would have.
Well, that's not my question. My question is, would you agree with me that Exhibit B15 does not have your name on it, having accepted the affidavit?
I did not sign anything and send it back to the board.
Okay. So now it's your position, Ms. Dixon, that because you've met all these requirements, so you say, even if it's after the time frame, and even given that you acknowledge that the doctor saw you one time, it was a transcribed note, and that there was some concern with Dr. Lippincot's addendum as to some supervisory issues or concerns with regard to your mental health, you're still asking this board to allow you to proceed with the order and for you to have a probationary license. Is that what I understand?
I am asking the board, yes, that's what I'm asking the board, but if the board have something else that the board would like me to do, then I'll do it, but I will say this, I don't live in Mississippi, I don't live in the state of Mississippi. So the things that the board want me to do when they're telling me to go to work, be on probation for 60 months and everything, I don't live there. There's no way I will be able to travel to Mississippi every day to go to work for 60 months. I can't do that. You know, I'm over here in the state of Alabama. I'm not there. So I'm
So
asking that the board will give me my license back, fully reinstate my license, or if they want me to go back and see, um, I will go back and see, I will go back and have another mental evaluation done. I want a second opinion. If the board will allow me to do that, go get another evaluation. And if they want, I will even go get a physical. And I will have these things done in a timely manner. The board will reinstate my license fully if the physician says that I'm fine, that I don't need no further treatment or anything. That's what I'm asking of the board.
right.
Give me a chance to prove this to you guys. If you guys want me to go get another mental evaluation, I will, because it seems like that's what Ms. Lippincott is saying now. Go get another mental evaluation and the physical, since it says preliminary note, I will go to a physician that you guys approve of and have this physical done to get my license back, fully reinstated, no limitations and no probationary period.
Right. You would agree with me, you've had since April of 2019 to fulfill these conditions, right?
And to my knowledge, you asked me to have that physical done. Physical, I had that done. You asked me to have that mental evaluation done. I went and seen Ms. Lippincott. Yes,
I'm sorry.
I done what the board asked me to do.
Yeah, I'm just saying yes or no. You knew in April of 2019 the conditions that were part of you. Yes or no?
Yes, and I met him to the best of my ability.
Okay, and then secondly, yes or no? April 12th, 2019 order, should the board allow you a probationary license, you do understand that this order states you are to practice 60 months within the state of Mississippi. Yes or no?
Yes, yes. But I was told that I had the opportunity to petition the board after you guys reinstate the license, so you guys could lower the probationary period.
Well,
And
I
when I
don't see,
called to do that, I was told that I couldn't even petition, I couldn't petition the board for that because you guys had said 60 months.
well, your order states, and I'm looking at the last page of Exhibit B6, your order states at the end of the probationary period, then you can ask for termination. But it doesn't state in this order that you can change the conditions of your order. Ms. Dixon.
No, it was told to me by word of mouth when I came in there. They said, just first, let's worry about getting getting this taken care of, meeting with the board, doing what the board asked me to do, and then I could petition the board to lower this probationary period. That was word of mouth. And that's when I forgot her name, the lady before Miss Blackwell was there, when she was there, and I had asked for I don't know the attorney name that came in there. I don't even know if he was an attorney, but it was a guy. But anyway, by word of mouth, they told me that I can petition the board to lower this probationary period. So that's why I accepted that. But 5 years, I don't stay in the state of Mississippi. So I'm hoping with that, you guys could keep that in consideration today as well. I don't stay there. I do not live in the state of Mississippi.
Say there's no further questions of Ms. Dixon.
Thank you, Council. Ms. Dixon, is there anything further you'd like to share with the board on this matter?
Yes, if I know I know now that I was supposed to have another physical after Miss Lippincott, a mental evaluation, And even though I had the physical from the doctor, the comprehensive medical exam from the doctor after Ms. Lippincott, I understand that you guys not accepting that. I would like to go back to the doctor and get a comprehensive medical exam that would satisfy the board since that one didn't. And I would like to have a second opinion on this mental evaluation. I would like to have that done again. And if I'm approved, I would like for the board to issue my license so I can go to work in the state of Alabama where I reside and give back. Give back some. I want to help out. I can't do nothing here without my license. And whatever the board, my license, it's my livelihood. So whatever the board want me to do as far as get them back so I can work over in the state of Alabama, that's what I want to do. But I do not live in the state of Mississippi. I don't live there. So I don't understand. I just don't know how I will be able to. I can't just up and relocate. I have a disabled husband that live with me. I have 3 grandkids that live with me and my daughter. There is no way I could just up and relocate to the state of Mississippi from Alabama. So I want you guys, when you make your decision today, since I did not do all that the board, things wasn't perfect, I didn't satisfy the board, because that's what I'm hearing. I am here to satisfy the board. I don't want, I mean, I'm not I kind of like feel like the opposition here. I'm just trying to, I'm not the opposition. I just want my nursing license back so I can go to work and do what I do. That's all I want. I want my nursing license back. I went to school for that. I earned it. A mistake was made in 2005. I got a citation for marijuana. I just want it's 2020. So if the board will consider that I don't live in the state of Mississippi, and if the board do have anything else they want me to do so you guys could reinstate my license so I can get them in the state of Alabama, that's what I want to do. I'm not here to fight with the board or not do what you guys say. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to comply. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dixon. I think we have some questions for you from some of the board members.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Dixon, this is Ms. Culpepper. I originally sat on your case when we initially heard you. And so my question for you is, to clarify, you want us to make the decision to rescind the initial order to give you the ability to practice freely in Alabama now. Is that correct?
I want to make everything okay with the state of Mississippi so I can practice in the state of Alabama. That's what I'm asking. Yes, I want to do what I can do to make things right with you guys so I can practice in the state of Alabama.
And Ms. Dixon, about how many miles are you from Mississippi?
From the nearest nursing home, I'm probably, I guess 55, 60 miles.
So just to clarify, you're within an hour of driving distance for a facility in Mississippi.
Yeah, yes, about 55 to 60 miles. Yes, I would have to drive every day.
So if we choose to continue with the previous order, are you going to make yourself available for that drive to complete this order?
Will you guys lower this probationary period so I won't have to drive over there for this amount of time for 5 years? I mean, if I was on probation in the state of Alabama, then that's fine with me. Get up and go to work every day. 5 years if that's what you guys was asking for. But you guys are not letting me work where I live. You guys are asking me to drive an hour to work every day and back home every day. I mean, I don't have a car here in Alabama. I mean, I could get somebody to, take me. The nearest nursing home is only, I guess, 18 miles, 17 miles from me. I can get somebody to drive me there every day. But there's no way I could get somebody to drive me to an hour every day. Then they got to come back over there and pick me up there. I mean, that's kind of stretching it. But I know you guys feel like a person will have to do what they have to do, but I cannot drive to Mississippi every day like that. It's not right now. I do not have a car. Nobody's gonna give me their car to drive over there. every day to go to work. Now, in the beginning, when I came in there to the board, my car was running. The engine blew up in the car. I do not have that car no more. So I was willing to drive, do whatever I had to do at that time when I came in here. When I signed that order, even in April, when I signed that order. Things are different now. I do not have that car. I done my best. When I did have my car, I done the training that you guys required of me. I went to the nursing home and done that. I done that until, I completed it. But I don't have that mode of transportation anymore. I do not have that. So if there's any kind of way that the Board of Mississippi can help me out with this, I mean, be a little lenient as far as being on probation for 5 years, having to go back and forth to Mississippi, let somebody take me over there. I mean, that's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. So I'm asking that the board will find some kind of way, maybe we can come to some type of terms to whereas I could satisfy you guys and then I could go on and get my license for the state of Alabama. That's what I'm asking you guys. You guys come up with something or a shorter term or something we can work out?
Ma'am,
Huh?
you understand that we don't have any type of way to give you permission to do anything in the state of Alabama?
No,
Because
but you
we don't
guys have the
jurisdiction. I
you guys
just
have the
wonder,
power to let me do what I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering if you're aware that we only have the ability to determine what you do in Mississippi.
Yes,
We don't
yes,
have
yes.
power are you aware of that as far as your Alabama concerns go, that the only thing that we can do is related to this state?
Okay.
I'm just curious if you're aware of that.
Yes, yes. I just know you guys have the power to reinstate my license and I can get my license for Alabama. That's why I'm asking what else can I do for you guys so I can get my license for Alabama?
I don't have any further.
The state has nothing further.
Right, at this time, I will ask that we look at closing statements. Council.
Briefly, you've heard a lot of testimony today and you've had an opportunity to review exhibits as we've walked through them, as Ms. Dixon has testified. The state would only caution this board to allow Ms. Dixon the opportunity to have a probationary license because there are some red flags here. Ms. Dixon did not supply, in the state's opinion, a comprehensive medical exam. She supplied a preliminary transcribed note by a physician she had not seen but only one time, and she supplied it June of 2020, over a year since she received her order, which was dated in April of 2019. The state also has concern about the fitness for her practice as referenced in Ms. Lippencott's addendum to her original assessment, which is in B16. And the state would ask that the panel review that addendum and consider the recommendations that Ms. Lippencott makes. And with that, the state would finally argue that Ms. Dixon should not be allowed opportunity to have a probationary license simply because Ms. Dixon cannot appreciate that practicing as a nurse is a privilege and that this board nor staff should ever work harder than the individual who wants this license. We should never have to work harder for the nursing license than the licensee, him or herself. We would end with that.
Ms. Dixon, if you have a closing statement, you can make it at this time.
Ma'am, I am not trying to make the board work harder. And I would not, like I told you, when I went seeing that doctor, I did not know they were sending you something that said a preliminary note. They done drug screens. They took blood. They went through every system of my body. From my head to my toe. It might have said preliminary note, but they went through my family history. They do everything up in there. It said preliminary note. It shouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have sent it in there if I said it's preliminary note. But when I went there, I had a comprehensive medical exam done. So I don't know if you're trying to say that I went there to just to get some type of little physical, because make me feel like that I went there to do something other than what the board asked me to do. That's not so. I went there, I had a comprehensive medical exam. I mean, a real comprehensive medical exam. And if they needed to put that on a form that didn't say preliminary note, I wish I had a known, because I'm sure they would have done that. But I'm not asking the board to work harder, and I do appreciate my license. Yes, I do. I went to school for those licenses. They're my license. So if there's something else that the board want me to do, I can obtain my license back. That's what I want to do. I want my license back. I earned those. I made a mistake. I'm asking the board to forgive the mistake. I've done what you asked me to do. Other than this, you said this physical isn't acceptable. You want me to do another mental evaluation? Then let's do it. Whatever you do, let's do it. And I'll close with that.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. We have at least one other matter we'd like to take up. So ideally, what we're going to look at trying to do is deliberating on your matter as well as this subsequent matter in the same session. So you are welcome to stay on the line.
Okay.
Take up this additional matter.
Okay. Thank you. Mhm. Do we have a charge? They in bed.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, we're going to ask you to mute as we proceed with the next matter. You can leave your phone on mute and or your camera on or off, but please mute during the next
Uh-huh.
hearing. All right, thanks.
Okay.
Can we like take her video off? That's so distracting. I know, but she's like watching a, oh, we're unmuted now.
The next matter before the board, license number R910321. My name is Edward Wiggins. I will serve as the hearing officer in this matter. Next, I will ask that the board members introduce themselves.
Sandra Culpepper, LPN.
Or APRN.
Is the licensee present?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name.
It's Kaylin Gibson Dickerson.
And will you verify that you've received notice on this matter?
Yes, sir.
Are you represented by counsel?
No, sir.
You understand you have the right to be represented by counsel?
Yes, sir.
You also understand you have the right to present witnesses on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Further understand that you have the right to cross-examine any witnesses against you.
Yes, sir.
Finally, do you understand that you have the right to have subpoenas issued on your behalf by the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I will advise that the hearing will proceed as follows. Opening statements, the case against the licensee. Of course, you'll be allowed to cross-examine any witnesses that may testify against you. Questioning of witnesses will start with direct examination, then cross, and then any redirect if necessary. Of course, the board members and I will have an opportunity to ask questions if needed. At the conclusion of both sides, closing statements will be allowed. The board will make any findings of fact and conclusions of law and will render its decision in the matter, a copy of which will be sent by certified mail to the licensee. At this time, I'll ask that the witnesses be sworn in.
Yes, Callan Dickerson.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Dickerson, would you raise your right hand to be sworn in, please, ma'am? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, for the record, I'd like to announce that there is a quorum present. These hearings are open to the public. However, the board may deliberate and make its decision in executive session. Before we move to opening statements, counsel, are there any preliminary matters?
Yes, there are two. The first of which is the state at this time have exhibits that we would like for the board panel to consider entering into the record as evidence. At this time, the state moves exhibits B1 through B12 be admitted into evidence.
Ms. Dickerson, do you have any objection to those exhibits?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. They will be admitted.
Secondly, as a preliminary matter, my understanding, as having conferred with Ms. Dickerson earlier today, is that she will be entering a plea of not guilty to the
No,
charges that was
guilty.
presented in B5.
I pled guilty. I said guilty earlier. I'm sorry if you didn't understand.
No, right. This is the formal proceeding now. That was
Oh,
just
okay.
an informal discussion with you. I needed to know how you wanted to proceed in the matter.
Okay.
So I'm just making the board panel aware and announcing on the formal record that you are entering a plea of guilt to the charges outlined in B5. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. And so with that note, the state at this time, given that Ms. Dickerson has entered a plea of guilt and had no objection to exhibits B1 and B12, the state will rest on its pleadings and have the opportunity to cross-examine Ms. Dickerson at the appropriate time.
All right, thank you, counsel. Ms. Dickerson, you may proceed with your case.
I mean, first most, I just wanted to, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to apologize for my behavior lately. I was doing well, up until this pandemic started. And then I mean, I'm not blaming it all on that. I've struggled with addiction for a couple years, but things are going good right now. And I take full responsibility for everything that I've done, and do apologize for it. But I guess I just want to see what I need to do for moving forward from here out.
Got some questions. Okay, Ms. Dickerson, thank you for your statement. Have some questions from council.
Ms. Dickerson, so you did enter a plea of guilt, and so you are acknowledging to the panel that you have relapsed. Is that my understanding?
Yes, ma'am. My new clean date. I've been clean since July 10th, but I did have a relapse. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, July 10th of what year?
This year, 2020.
Okay. Okay, and so that July 1 follicle test that confirmed positive for methamphetamines and amphetamines, am I understanding then, as you give your new sobriety date of July 10, that you have undergone some treatment?
I mean, pretty much I've just been doing like online NA meetings every day. I've joined a church. That's been a lot of help. I recently just moved to Meridian. It's about an hour and a half from my hometown. So I made that decision just because Laurel was where my addiction started, and it was not a good environment for me. So the biggest thing's been getting out of the same people, places, and things. I have not been able to start like an in therapy process yet. I have a little girl, she's a year and a half old. She starts daycare on October the 12th. I just got a job as a substitute teacher up here. So whenever she starts daycare, I plan to find like a like I was doing Pine Grove about a year and a half ago in Hattiesburg. So find something like that up here and do like some kind of IOP, or I have completed an IOP before, but like an outpatient therapy to do weekly counseling with.
Okay, so again, I'll make sure I understand. So right now, your testimony is your treatment plan are AA meetings and having just joined a church.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you mentioned that you went to Pine Grove. Was that in 2019?
That was in 2019. Yes, ma'am. I did an IOP after I did my first inpatient treatment. That was at the Oxford Treatment Center in Etta, Mississippi. So that was from the December 2018 until February 2019. I did leave on Suboxone, and 3 months later, I went back and did a detox to come off the Suboxone, came off the Suboxone, stayed for a week there, and then I went to IOP at Pine Grove.
Okay, and you went to Oxford treatment in December 2018 because wasn't that when you were found unresponsive
Yes,
after
ma'am.
having used heroin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were pregnant at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you've gone to Oxford treatment, you've gone to Pine Grove, you've been to their IOP program, and then, Ms. Dickerson, you entered into the Mississippi Nurse Volunteer Program, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's evidence, as in B6 which is the referral from the MNB program, and I believe the affidavit is also submitted for the board's review. Now, so Ms. Dickerson, do you have anything today to show the board that you're safe and competent to practice as a nurse?
I don't feel I should be practicing right now at all. I do not feel like it's in my best interest to put myself back in that environment. But I don't want this to ruin the rest of my life. I'm sorry.
So, and gather yourself. So if the board then proceeds in their deliberations, and this is just hypothetically speaking, if the board deliberates and decides that your license needs to be revoked, if they were to include in that revocation order recommendations for you to follow. Are you saying that you'd be willing to follow those to help get back on the right track?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it is your intention in some point to get back into nursing?
In years to come. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have a good support system?
I do. I have a wonderful family. And like I said, the biggest thing for me has just been getting out of that environment. But family wise, I mean, I don't have many friends now, but I can always make them. So,
Okay. Well, with that testimony, Ms. Dickerson, I have no further questions. You don't feel that you need to be practicing. You pled guilty to the charges. There was no objection to the information submitted into the record. So at this time, the state does not feel that we need to prolong the matter of wasting any more of the board's time. The state would rest.
okay.
Thank you, Counselor. Ms. Dickerson, is there anything further you'd like to share with the board regarding this matter?
No, sir.
All right. Is there a closing?
I just think that there's clear and convincing evidence based on testimony from Ms. Dickerson. She pled guilty. She has asked that she not practice as a nurse. She doesn't feel that she's safe at this time. She's willing to do any recommendations the board sees fit if the board decides to revoke her license, which the state would recommend. And there was no objection to the evidence admitted, which the state would ask the board panel to consider in its deliberations as well.
Before I get to Ms. Dixon, did any of the board members have any questions for her? Ms. Dickerson, if you have a closing statement, you can make it at this time.
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Counsel. Brett. Is there another matter?
Yes, there is Miss Tracy Dixon. And I mean, why not? Just do it. Why not? And if y'all are good with it. And do we don't have her, make sure my email. I have nothing in my email. I'm ready.
Ms. Dickerson, we're going to deal with one other matter, so you can just bear with us for a moment. And we will actually deliberate yours and two other matters, and then we'll be able to come back and render decisions on each of those.
Okay, yes,
thank you
sir.
for your The next matter before the board, license number P317072, case number 014355.
And as a preliminary matter, the state would like to call Floyd Wiley to testify as to this matter.
All right, you may proceed.
Okay, Mr. Wiley?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this clause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Floyd Wiley,
And in what capacity are you serving the board today, Mr. Wiley?
bailiff.
And have you been able to make a determination as to whether or not Tracy Dixon is present and available for her hearing today?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and what did you do to make that determination?
I went on the first floor to the respondent sign-in sheet, and she has not signed in. I went to the front of the building, called her name 5 times with no response. I went to the back of the building, called her name 5 times with no response. I checked the visitor's log up here on our floor, and she has not signed in.
Okay, I'm going to hand you what's been marked but not yet entered into evidence. The last page of marked exhibit B5. For the record, can you identify this document?
It is a letter that was mailed to Ms. Dixon from the Board of Nursing.
Okay, and can you read aloud for the record whether or not Ms. Dixon received this letter?
She did not receive it. It was returned to the board, unable to deliver.
Okay, and can you verify for the record whose name and what address appears on that envelope?
Tracy Dixon name appears at 137 A Edmond Road, Lucedale, Mississippi.
Okay, and that green card receipt that went unclaimed, do you see the last 4 digits there on that green card receipt?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what are those?
3977.
Okay, I'm gonna now hand you the second page of exhibit B5. And for identification purposes, can you state whether or not this is a notice addressed to Miss Tracy Dixon?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and can you verify the certified mail number receipt? Does it match this notice as it matches the envelope notice that was returned?
Yes, the numbers do match.
Okay, and was Miss Dixon originally ordered to appear virtually July 22nd, 2020 at 8:30 a.m.?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And contained in marked exhibit B5, can you also verify for the record that this document that was sent to Ms. Dixon contained notice of her hearing and the charging document that outlined the violations of the Nurse Practice Act?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And then finally, I'm going to hand you, Mr. Wiley, marked exhibit B9. For the purposes of the record, can you identify that marked exhibit?
Yes, proof of publication notice.
Okay, and can you state what county and what publication that this proof of publication references?
The County of George and the George County Times, published in the city town of Lucedale.
Okay, and who does this publication notice? To whom?
Tracy Dixon.
Okay, and when is she ordered to appear before the board based on this proof of publication?
Here on today's date,
And that is what date?
October the 7th, 2020,
Okay,
at 8:30 a.m.
okay, and can you verify whether or not this publication notice was published in that publication 3 consecutive weeks?
Yes, it was. August the 27th, 2020, September the 3rd of 2020, September the 10th of 2020.
Okay. And finally, Mr. Wally, I'm going to hand you marked exhibit B2 and B3. And for the purposes of the record, can you state whether or not marked exhibit B2 and B3 are internal database printouts of licensee information of Ms. Dixon?
Yes, they are.
Okay, and can you verify the address Is it consistent in March B2 as well as in March B3?
The addresses are identical.
And that would be that 137-A Edmond Road in Lucedale, Mississippi.
That's correct.
Okay, and that's the same address whereby that envelope that contained the notice and complaint was returned to sender, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And then the publication was in the county of George, which is in Lucedale, Mississippi. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And they testified to that as a marked exhibit B9.
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, the state would ask that the hearing regarding Ms. Dixon be allowed to proceed, given that all statutory requirements of notice have been met.
Motion's well taken. May proceed.
Okay, at this time, the state would ask and move that exhibits B1 through B10 be admitted into evidence.
They're admitted.
And as they have been admitted into evidence, the state would now rest on its pleadings and rest in this matter.
All right, thank you, counsel. Let's see. At this time, I will entertain a motion to close determination regarding the following matters. R 910321, P 318805, P 317072.
I will make the motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We'll now entertain a motion for the board to go into executive session on those same matters. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The board will now exit to executive session.
Is this on mute now? We on mute?
All right, thank you. We are back on the record. We'll entertain a motion to return to regular session.
I'll make that motion.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We are back in regular session. Okay. In the matter of license number R 910-321, the board has deliberated and renders the following decision. Revoked drug-related recommendations. A letter containing all of the stipulations will be forwarded to the licensee. We thank you for your appearance today. You are excused.
Callan,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to wish you luck in your journey.
Thank you so much, and thank y'all for today.
All right, thank you. And the next matter, license number P 318-805. Board has deliberated and renders the following decision. Reinstatement denied with non-drug related recommendations. A copy of this order will be forwarded to the licensee. Thank you for your appearance here today. You are excused.
Are y'all back?
In the next matter, license number P 317-072. The board, after deliberating, renders the following decision. Revocation. A copy of this decision will be forwarded to the licensee. That concludes that matter.